Welcome to the first episode of Up To Mischief. In this episode, we see the Mischief crew start work on the lemons. Izelle meanders through Magaliesburg to discover the magic of Black Horse Estate. We see what car the guys tuned this week. And we have a great Racing for Change Gymkhana event. So there you have it, a jam-packed lineup for our debut episode.
Alright, so what we got here is a 350Z, which they use for drifting and playing, but it's also his road car. So he brought it in for a tune. They've changed the exhaust. They've done very little mods in the engine bay. It's got a standard airbox and things like that. But to get the fueling and timing right, we've put a uni-chip onto it so that we can tune the fueling and timing. And yeah, we've made a decent gain. We've made a sort of a 6-7 kilowatt gain and about 12 Newton meters because the car was actually too lean. So we had to add some fuel at full throttle. So if you have a look at the graph here, you'll see that the clutch slipped there and then gripped there and then went again. So the clutch is on its end from all the drifting and clutch kicks and things. So they need to change the clutch and then we can actually see what power it makes. Because the clutch is actually slipping. I'm not sure if it's gripping all the way. It might be slipping there a little bit as well. So the next step now for this car is he wants some banging and rev limiters. So we're going to put some pops and bangs and rev limiters that make flames. That's the next step. That's not for speed, just for fun.
As you can see, the Head Dynamics guys are extremely busy transforming this car. So what we're going to be doing, we're going to be changing it from a naturally aspirated car to a turbocharged car, which is always good. One of the requirements for the Lemons 9 Hour is that we have a budget of 55,000 Rand. That's it, you can't go over it. There's going to be a few modifications happening. One of it is going to be the gearbox. We're going to be stripping out this entire car because we've got to get racing seats for it. We also got to respray it, and we also got to get wonderful stickers and artwork all onto the car. So all of that's going to be happening. Let's catch up with Herman because he's going to tell us the rest of what we're going to be doing.
Here's my crutch here. That's what crutch come right. What we're doing is this obviously Lightning McQueen was a car that I raced in GTI Challenge, Class C many years ago. We won a couple of races, lost a couple of races, crashed it a couple of times. It was fun. But Sean has come up with this Lemons race idea, so the 9-hour race. So all we're doing is we're taking the engine out just to refresh it, check that the bearings are going to be fine. We've got to make sure that we last 9 hours. It's only an 1800 Class C car, which makes 90 odd kilowatts. So we need a little bit more power than that. We're going to put a small little TDI turbo onto it, and it will still fall within the 55 grand budget of the Lemons. We're taking the gearbox out. We're going to put a cable shift gearbox in, which I actually took out of my son's Polo, because we're putting a 6-speed gearbox in his little Polo. So that gearbox is going begging. So we're going to stick it in here because they're a little bit stronger than the little 1800 gearbox that is in the car. If we make over 200 newtons, we can break the 5th gear. Especially the gearbox holds less oil, so it runs really hot. And yeah, we don't want to break a gearbox halfway through the 9-hour. So that's what they're busy doing now. They're pulling the motor out. We need to fit a little intercooler, all second-hand parts that we're putting together. It's not a massive turbo conversion. We're just putting a second-hand intercooler that we had, putting a new clutch in. The standard clutches have like these clutch bands that on the downshift you can break them. So we'll just put a new clutch in it, make sure that it's not going to let us down in the middle of the race. We need to put some more lights on it apparently because they want us to go into the dark, so we've got to do that. And yeah, it's just a little Class C challenge car. I mean, I initially paid 25 grand for this car many years ago. It's definitely a car that will make the budget and yeah, make for a lot of fun.
I'm the most important guy here. Without me, I don't know how they get this done.
We're hoping for about 125 kilowatts out of it, 130 kilowatts, somewhere there, and sort of 220 newtons, which puts us a little bit stronger than a Class B challenge car, but not yet a Class A challenge car. And we'll put in some brake pads that hopefully from the NASCAR series, which we get from GNA Promotions. And hopefully that will last the 9 hours, so we don't have to change brake pads. And then a problem we have with these cars is because they're really cheapy cars, the front hub and the stub axles break off. So we're just changing the front hub, stub axles with new ones, just so that we can make a full 9-hour race without any problems. Usually, if you want to make a lot of power, you'd put a lot bigger turbocharger on. But what we've opted for is the brief to full boost turbochargers was we want to make very little bit more power. So it's actually a 1.9 turbo diesel manifold that we're going to use with a mixture of a 3-liter D4D turbo with a couple of other bits and bobs. So it's all second-hand wheels that he's got lying around and everything, and we're going to put together a turbocharger just so we can supply a little bit more power. I mean, 130 kilowatts is a little bit of power in turbocharged language. I mean, if you take a B20 Honda and you put a VTEC head on it, you'll make more power than that, you know, naturally aspirated. But the idea is we also want to, on pump fuel, we want to prove that we can build a little turbo conversion that makes the car fairly quick and it will last the 9 hours. So just for a bit of fun as well, you know, we can have a little bit of noise and a little bit of dump valves and squeaks, and you know, it's going to be cool. It's going to be fun. That's the idea.
Well guys, with this assembly done, as you can see, there's a lot of work to be done on the Golf. But we'll see how far the crew gets in the next episode. After the break, Izelle discovers the magic of the Black Horse Estate.
Guys, I need to be honest, it was a bit of a bumpy ride, especially for this vehicle of choice. But I do believe this farm to fork destination will be well worth your while. So let's go see what it's all about. Bernard, the Black Horse concept. I mean, there's so much here. Where did it all start?
Well, it started probably in 1993. We moved here, we started with horses, you know, like everybody else that buys a little piece of land in the countryside and got these dreams about horses. Our dreams was just about black horses because I needed something that could carry my weight. So I couldn't go for the small little ponies and things like that. And most of the other drafts weren't available in South Africa, so otherwise we probably would have had something bigger. But yeah, and then our stud name became Black Horse for our international registered horses, and yeah, at the stage we had 45 of them on a farm.
This is your own little piece of heaven, and you've created so much here. So let's, for instance, start with the gin.
You can start with the gin, but you know, a piece of heaven, that's what everybody else sees, but it's like any other business and work environment where, you know, you've got your normal day-to-day nightmares.
Oh, like your chickens.
But like my chickens, although we don't eat them. They actually just here for the fun. But we're making gin. Actually doing it with my brother and his partner. Joined us in a gin venture after we started the brewery. So yeah, and we're doing a couple of nice gins. I think we've got 11 gins in total at the moment, of which the biggest range is the
7 deadly gins. We need to talk about those.
Yes, those 7 deadly sins that we moved into gins.
Is that your latest product offering, and can you buy it as a whole set?
From Black Horse you can actually buy the whole range if you want to. But our latest offering is actually a limoncello that we brought out.
Limoncello?
We ventured into the Italian drinks type of thing. Moved from the Dutch to the UK with the gins, and then, a little bit Italian with the limoncello.
And tell me, if you had to compare your limoncello to for instance, the Italian one, how would you rate the taste?
Ours is a little bit more rounder and smoother than the Italian ones. The Italian ones, for me, personally, is a little bit alcoholic.
Hey, but the Italians love having a good time.
They do. Although our alcohol percentages are exactly the same.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, we just souped it up with a little bit of smoothness, so that it fits more into the South African taste bud.
You know, from the sweeter stuff over to beer, let's talk about the brewery.
Oh, I'm a beer man. Can't you see? Look at his body. It must be beer.
Well, I think it's a proudly South African thing too. It's a little bit in our culture, isn't it?
It is. I think we all grew up with beer. SA Breweries did an excellent job on us.
So beer, is it kind of a passion project for you?
My life is passion. So everything around me is passion projects. But beer is one of the bigger passion products. Yeah.
Okay. And which one of the ones you have on offer would you say is your most popular one?
Our Goldens are most popular. But we also brought out the Radler now, which we actually launched at the Deutsche Schulers Bazaar. And that worked extremely well. It seems like it went off well in the South African market.
And what about for the ladies?
You know, the ladies' side was actually very easy because my daughter, being the brewmaster or the brewster, she's got a softer taste bud. So then we went out with my grandmother's recipe for a ginger beer actually to start off with.
Oh, wow.
And then we converted that into a pink product that's a ginger
I just love
berry.
the family and the culture and the history and how it just brings everything so perfectly together.
Yeah, it makes it easy. You know, one side, it also makes it more difficult on the other side, doing business with family.
I can imagine. But listen, this facility. Oh, hello, little baby chicken. Oh, we've got chickens on set today. Like, I just feel so right at home on the farm here.
Feels like you are back on a farm.
Exactly. But this facility, it's not just a beer brewery. It's not just where gin gets made. What else do you have on offer here?
Well, the nice thing about this facility, I think, was the fact that it was just our residence. It was just our house. Just a place where we lived. Over time, it became a public environment, and we had a little bit of accommodation with when we did the horses because we used to get judges in from the Netherlands. But since then, we've added some extra accommodation. We've got a brewery, we've got a distillery, we've got conference facilities, we've got a wedding venue.
Oh, wow. And a restaurant. Yes.
Yeah, so one in a week and the other one opens every weekend. So yeah, we've got quite a variety of things, a lot for people to do. We even got candle dipping. We're adding some extra stuff within the next couple of months, so yeah.
Okay, and your little chicken just told me Chef Stan is busy preparing something for us in the kitchen.
But what I heard is that you're having a steak today with some mash and veg, and of that plate, about 90% will be off the farm. So we're very, very big.
So that's quite something unique, and you know, especially to Black Horse. I mean, everything is sourced on the farm, and what you can't source here is obviously in the area.
We try as far as possible. I mean, you being a chef, you know, it's not always that easy. Becoming a vegetable farmer over the last couple of months or years, it's been quite a change in my lifestyle, I must say. I've never farmed anything properly.
So you went from horses to cattle, now vegetables?
Oh, first beer in between, huh?
Oh, and beer, of course. In between and a little
You still have
bit
to have
of
something
gin.
to sip it down with the whole time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like my dad used to say, nothing like an ice cold beer at the end of a summer's day.
It is.
Should we go and see what Chef Stan prepared for us?
I think you better have a look. Huh?
Fantastic. Chef Stan, this is a masterpiece of farm to fork, and I can really see everything here is hand-picked, perfectly like specifically selected, even your little basil crackling and everything like that. Perfect.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Wow, the pleasure is all mine. I get to have this one now.
Wow, now that steak makes my mouth water. After the break, let's see what Herman and the guys are tuning in the workshop. And then join me and the crew at the Racing for Change Gymkhana event.
Welcome again to Mischief Garage, where we are busy with our latest project. I don't know why, but I ended up buying this 650i Motorsport Edition. I just like the look of the car. It's low, wide, long and sleek, and it's got a twin turbo V8. It's the M5's little brother. It's going to be a little taste of speed, a little bit of mischief that Gary is getting up to already.
I'm just tickling the turbos. Putting the software stage 1 on.
The 650 Ram Coupe, I'm going to go with 630 newtons and 325 kilowatts.
Hey, bro.
Very right. And
Very nice.
what did you end up getting?
367 and 860.
We're at Killarney Racetrack today and we're doing our Gymkhana. We brought the whole team with us. But if you don't know what a Gymkhana is, they have a course laid out. You've got to do it in the quickest time possible. And if you obviously hit the cone or you spin out, that is a penalty and it gets time added onto your current lap. In our Mischief lineup today, we got my Nissan 350Z and then we got Naeem's E36 328 BMW. It's turbocharged, so it does have a little snail underneath. And then my dad, he brought his Lotus Exige out today, and the problem is it's not really set up for this type of surface, so it's very tricky. So we're going to see what he says about it. So this is my dad, Sean, and he's Mr. Mischief Garage himself. So today he brought out his Lotus Exige S. It's not the car for this surface, nor is it the car for this purpose. But anyway, he decided to bring it. So tell me, how was your first practice run?
Well, firstly, he decided I should bring it.
I did say it.
The first run was exciting. I left the traction control on. I'd switched it off initially, and then I'd switched the car off, and when
That's
I
why it was
restarted,
going on, pop, 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 pop.
it wouldn't rev past a certain
Okay,
it was
that
traction
explains
control.
it.
And then the second problem was I'm running semi-slicks,
Okay,
which, as you know, have no grip when they're cold.
yeah, definitely. And you just got onto the surface, no prep.
It's my first time
Nothing.
on the ground. So when it finally got grip,
Yeah.
this wall came on fast.
I saw you were doing this. I was like, whoop, whoop, whoop. Naeem, we have Naeem over here. He's my partner in crime when it comes to having fun on the track, you know. And this is the first time he's brought his BMW E36 turbocharged, and this is the first time he's testing it. So, how was your first time around there?
Terrible. So I haven't figured the car out yet.
He has standard seats inside, so you gotta understand, while you're in the seats, you're sliding from side to side, you're disorientated, you're pulling up the handbrake, you have to remember the course.
For the next event, there's a heap of work that must be done. Suspension, seats.
Of course.
I need to speak to Sean O'Connell.
It's a never-ending story, but we're gonna see how the next session goes. This is Abdul, the man behind Racing for Change, and the reason why we are all gathered here today. And Abdul, you were actually driving your car amazingly today.
Thank you so much.
It was incredible.
It's part of the passion. Yeah.
I'm always amazed to see how a front-wheel driver is able to go around a cone that easily.
Well, I have a really good navigator
Well,
and
yeah,
a
that's
good
true.
teacher. So it's part of the whole scenario is we're a team.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
that's very important.
Yeah, and speaking about team and a family, tell us all about Racing for Change and how it all started and came about.
Matthew, Racing for Change was born out of an idea. We realized we love driving, we love cars, we love racing.
Definitely.
But from the racing fraternity, we really give back to the underprivileged communities.
Yes.
And that's how Racing for Change was born. Myself, Leon, his wife Monique, Johan and Juanita, we basically realized one day that okay, we're going to do the Gymkhanas anyway. Let's give a big portion of our entry fees back to society, to the underprivileged.
Well, we had a lot of fun, and yes, we got up to mischief, and we can't wait to see you guys at the next one. Thank you guys so much, Abdul. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Up to Mischief. In the next episode, we'll see how far the guys have progressed with the golf. Izelle travels to Paris and encounters a very interesting dish. We'll see what has been happening in the workshop, and we head to Neisner for the 2024 Neisner Motor Show. For any more information, visit our website, uptomischief.co.za, or follow our social media links. See you guys on the next episode. And right now behind me, oh goodness. Right now behind me we have clouds.